speak through Fox News and let the independents who are tuning into you, let them know what it is that she stands for, the principles behind her positions.
It used to be that new candidates were advised to brush up on the issues so they could handle questions from anyone, even tough questions. The idea behind that was that it prepared you also for actually governing. But now the advice to candidates is only to talk to sympathetic reporters.
We need to start now by electing strong leaders who aren't afraid to shake it up. We need strong, principled leaders, public servants who respect our Constitution.
We need clarity. We deserve answers, so we don't ask the same questions tomorrow.
Good night, Lauren.
Perhaps we are not properly educating our youth in the exceptional nature of America. It's worrisome because this belief in American exceptionalism is something that every new generation has got to make its own if we expect our republic and our liberties to be secure and to live on. For America to survive, we have got to pass this on to that next generation, to the young kids who are here, to the students.
You know, this real America, does it exist, John?
Well, in terms of real American and exceptionalism, look, the most basic thing that people can do in support of a democracy is vote. And we take our votes very seriously. The people of Alaska voted for Sarah Palin, and Sarah Palin quit. Exceptional people don't quit. And I seriously tell my kids this probably 2 or 3 times a week. It's better to lose than to quit. So she can sit there and she can talk about being exceptional. She can talk about better of America. If she were a better person, she would have stood and fought. She chose to check out and to do it to make money. I've got no problem with making money, but that's what she is. She's a reality
I
star.
have a different observation, though. He hears what's going on. That speech, the first 20 minutes, was every vapid cliche strung together. It was complete, almost nonsense.
Sarah Palin is on the media blitz for her book. She got asked today an interesting question. I want to play this for you. Whether she'd speak with journalist Katie Couric again. Here's part of her response.
I want to help clean up the state that is so sorry today of journalism. And I have a communications degree. I study journalism, who, what, where, when, and why of reporting. I will speak to reporters who still understand that cornerstone of our democracy, that expectation that the public has for truth to be reported.
Eric, tell me if you agree with this. I mean, she's basically been communicating through Fox News, Facebook, Twitter, a lot of social media. She's not been facing too many reporters at all these days. Is it any way to prep for a presidential run? Can she get away with that?
Oh, absolutely. In a Republican primary, she can be on Fox News and have millions of people watching her who, frankly, will go out and vote for her. She can go on talk radio. Conservatives have fantastic outlets other than the traditional news outlets to be able to communicate in a primary. It won't work in a general election, but to get her the nomination, it absolutely would. And I would agree with her. I wouldn't waste my time on CBS News either.
And Maria, I mean, if she does decide to run in 2012, do you think a presidential candidate can get away with avoiding reporters who ask tough questions throughout their campaign?
I don't think so, but I do tend to agree with Eric that this will work for her if she wants the Republican presidential nomination, because we have seen that the conservative right wing actually do have their own outlets and they do nurture their own spokespeople, and she happens to be one of them. So as a Democrat, I really hope that she does exactly what Eric mentioned and runs and wins the nomination, because he said it himself, and I completely agree. There is no way that doing that she could win the general election in 2012. And I think that she represents, and Michelle Bachmann represents, a huge challenge for the Republican Party, and that's demonstrating that they actually have mainstream views. Palin and Bachmann do not represent those mainstream views.
Impact segment tonight. If you peruse the left-wing media, you may have noticed some pundits saying that Sarah Palin might win the Republican nomination for president in 2012. But why are they saying that? Because they want it to happen, I believe. Recent CNN poll matched up President Obama against Governor Palin. President beats her 52-44.
She has sort of taken the reality show route, has maybe made people think, well, does she want to be president? Well, it's a very unorthodox
So what you're saying is that
so
maybe she doesn't have the gravitas for the job. Is that how you see it, Williams?
You know, first of all, let me say that I saw Sarah Palin the other day, and she gave me a big hug. So this is a very difficult segment for me to do, to just be the analyst here. She's very supportive of me. But I will say this, that I think that the polls, especially the polls in terms of favorability ratings, not head-to-head with Obama, but how do you view Sarah Palin? More than half of Americans have an unfavorable view of her.
But Ham
asked the right
submits
question.
that that's because the media has worked her over. It's almost
Well,
like
she
Fox
thinks
News
so.
in a sense.
That's right. But
people
let me
don't
just
take
say,
the time to figure out what her record was in Alaska.
No,
they don't know what she's run on.
That's her point. Her point is that her record has been unfairly portrayed. But when the American people look at her record, unfortunately, people will say, hey, she quit as governor. They say, is she smarter than I am? Is she smarter than Bill O'Reilly? Would I trust her to lead me on foreign policy, on economic policy, on tax policy? And people say, you know what, she's a wonderful person, but I'm not sure that I trust her to that level and give her the gravitas.
Do you agree that the left-wing pundits, at least some of them, want her to get the nomination, the GOP nomination?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question.
So that's why you see this spate of articles that she should go and that it could be done.
Absolutely. They love it. But let me just tell you that she is also given. You said a moment ago she'll do well on TV. She does well here and there. But, you know, like she's got this new book out and she takes a shot at Mrs. Obama. I think, you know, people think, we don't want that. We don't need that. I think people think, you know, they want somebody who's going to take us to a higher level.
That plays into Governor Palin's audience, does it not? That kind of
stuff.
And
the question is whether that audience broadens to include that coalition that brought Republicans to victory in 2010.
Would you recommend that Governor Palin not do that then?
Well, I think she does have some work to do to win those people over, and it's partly because of media coverage, and it's partly because of the very unorthodox path she's taken to maybe entering the race later. And so I think she does have some work to do earning those people's votes, and that doesn't mean she can't do it, which is why the left is mistaken to just assume that it's all bad if she runs.
Well, I think
she's very charming.
Look, I think they're looking at the potential challengers to Barack Obama, and they're saying that, look, if you have a person with high negatives, same thing with Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich, I don't think anybody would say Newt Gingrich isn't a smart guy. He's a smart guy, but he's got high negatives. Now, I don't know why they're pushing Sarah Palin over Newt Gingrich, Juan. Do you ever think about that? Newt Gingrich is going to run for president. He has high negatives. Why do the left favoring Sarah Palin over her?
Hey, I don't think there's anybody in America who doesn't think Newt Gingrich is a smart guy, and he's been Speaker of the House, and he's got a record of accomplishment contract with America that had tremendous success with the Republican Party. People may say, you know, I don't like some things about his personal life, negatives, all that, but they know he's got a record. With Sarah Palin, you know, Mike Huckabee said the other day, he said, Republicans, get ready. She may run away with the primaries. The Republican establishment is worried about her, and Democrats, for that reason, love her. And let me tell you, Barbara Bush said the other day,
I sat next to her once, thought she was beautiful, and I think she's very happy in Alaska, and I hope she'll stay there.
She's extra sassy these days, too, because she's winning. All her mama Grizzlies are winning. And they're busting through that glass ceiling. And the mama Grizzlies are going to Washington, and they're going to flip your picnic table, Dave. You know what I noticed on Fox News last night, though, is on Fox News, they address her as Governor Palin, which is like calling me Dairy Queen employee. I was once, but I quit.
That's right.
There is that point there that somehow Sarah Palin forgets. Oh, well.
Suppose Senator John Doe puts forth a constitutional amendment that would outlaw abortion, even in cases of rape or incest, and he asked you to attend the announcement and support him in that. Would you do it?
I would. Yes, a proposal like that, I would stand by it.
Let's be completely clear about the facts here. There is no place in the world and no time in history where restricting women's reproductive rights makes a people or a nation more free or more equal. These extreme positions on abortion are, without any question, a war on American girls and women, and the fact that there are women who are both complicit and participatory in it is really neither surprising nor unprecedented. It has always been true, and it is incredibly important that we recognize that despite the fact that we can be very proud of these women and as politicians, that the question is, how do women as citizens fare on the other side of them either being elected or not elected?